me here. Could you tell me your first name, please?
I'm Anna Lee. My mom's phone kicked her out. It's not letting her join back in the Zoom meeting, so she's on the other phone with me.
Is she she's not physically with you?
No, she's not physically with me.
Okay, she will not be able to participate by phone, but she can certainly listen in.
Okay. We were supposed to
So,
be together, but she got really sick at like the last minute. So,
I am sorry to hear that. I hope that she has a speedy recovery. It seems to be going around for a lot of people this time of year for whatever consolation it may provide you. So I will do this to get us started. I'll ask each of you to raise your right hands for me. Do you swear or affirm that the statements you make to the court today will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
I do.
Okay. Mr. Sewell, this is your case and burden of proof, and so you will go first. I will have a series of questions to ask you, and you will present the information and evidence and testimony needed to get through your case. The other side will have the opportunity to pose questions to you about that information, and then when that is concluded, if you have no other witnesses, you would rest, and then the defense would present any testimony, evidence, or other matters that they wish to address with the court, and then I, as the judge, would decide the case. So let me start by asking, how long has Miss McCrae been living at this Creekview Drive property?
For 1 year.
And is that in DeKalb County?
Yes.
Okay. Was there a lease on the property?
Lease agreement or?
Yes. Did she sign a lease with you?
Absolutely. Yes. I do have a copy. She have a copy. I have a copy.
Okay. And what did the lease direct her to pay in monthly rent?
$2,850.
Okay. And that was due on what day of the month?
First to fifth.
Okay. So late after the 5th?
$50.
$50 late fee after the 5th. Okay. And when is the last time that you received rent money from anyone at the property?
The last time after I filed eviction on January 27th, she received the letter. She called me. She let me know that she received a letter, and she mailed me $3,000. Indeed, I sent it back, and she sent it back to me again. So I went this morning to the bank, and I make, on behalf of her name, a cashier check, $3,000, which is I submitted as a proof with the email, all documents.
You're saying of your intent to return the money that you already returned the first time.
Yeah, when I sent it back to her to Zelle this morning, she sent me back again. She Zelle me back. So instead of me and her Zelling back each other.
When is the last time that you received money that you kept?
The last time I kept is November, 1,000.
Okay, so you have not received the rent money for December or January. Is that correct?
January, December, January, partial payment on November, full payment I did not receive December, January, and February.
What was the unpaid amount for November?
For November is $1,300.
Okay, so she paid a little bit over half.
Yeah.
And so December and January would be $2,850 plus a $50 late fee, you testified, and that's according to the terms of the lease.
Yeah, December, January, and February, including this month.
Okay, and you've received nothing in February that you've kept or intend to keep.
No, nothing.
All right. And you filed this action in late January, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. When was the, I know you said she had been there about a year. When was her lease due to expire?
On the paper, it says February 28, 2026. On the verbal and the text agreement, we've been planning to move out starting November 1st, 2025, last year.
All right. I think those are all the questions I have based on your pleadings.
Okay.
Ms. McCrae, this will be the opportunity for you to ask questions if you have questions. What I will tell you is that you are asking questions to a party who you already failed to reach an agreement with, and so you should expect him to give the answers from his perspective, not your perspective. And if that happens, you are stuck with his answers for the time being until it is your opportunity to offer evidence or testimony to the contrary. And so anything he says that you might disagree with, you have to just kind of put it in your back pocket until it's your turn to give your testimony or present evidence. And so with that clarification, we just don't go back and forth point by point, so to speak. But do you have questions that you believe the court should ask Mr. Sewell at this time?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, what is your first question?
Because this is our second time here, the agreement for me to move before the February 28, 2026 date, that agreement was never formally accepted by me. It was made under a lot of pressure and
I'm going to jump
retaliatory.
in here because I haven't heard a question mark. This is a chance for questions and only
I'm sorry. So
questions.
the question is Jamal, you know, did Jamal forcefully ask us to move out because of the court enforcement situation, and he didn't like the judgment that we won the last time?
Okay.
Sorry.
And for my clarification and understanding, was that in this court or was that in some other type of court?
That was in that court.
Okay. I put his name into the system and I do not see any other cases that come up with his name on them. So do you
One,
have a case number that starts with 25D or
yes, sir.
something
One
like
second.
that?
One second. We were just there in August. Give me a second. Where, where is it? I'm sorry, do you have the other paper, Mama? I'm trying to find the original case number, but it's okay. I'll look on my phone because I have. I'm about to, excuse me, one second, Mom, please. Let me get it on my phone. One second, sir. We were just there in August. This is very difficult. One moment, I'm locating it, the docket number thing. Okay, this one was August. And it is. Oh, I'm sorry, September. That's what it was. It's 25D 20252.
Thank you for that. I will state for the record that his name is spelled differently in the court's case file. And we have Ann Lee in one case and Anna Lee in the other case, which I believe is how that is what led me to be unsuccessful in searching for it. So the dismissal that was filled out September 9th by Judge Joshua Davis simply says that he accepted money.
Yeah, because I brought my attorney because it was he had made it a very, I'm sorry, it was just too hostile for me. And so
Nope,
I had,
nope, 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 nope. This is question time.
yeah,
There's
so
nothing
I
about
was
a
just
code
answering.
enforcement ruling or anything else in the documents reflecting the previous dismissal from September. So what
Right.
other questions do you have for him?
My question was just that this situation is stemming from that situation. That was my question. And you said that you couldn't find it. So I don't think we ever got to ask the question. So because I had to find the document.
Are you essentially asking if this was a retaliatory filing or something to that effect?
Yes, if it's kind of like all of his uh I don't want to say like ricochet effects, but kind of like, yeah, all of it's retaliatory connected. Yes, sir. It's the question.
Okay, so sir, are you doing this in response to any kind of code enforcement action?
Not at all.
Okay. Ma'am, what is your next question?
My next question is, okay, did Jamal not keep saying from the time that we were in court the last time that he just wants me out of the house? He just wants me out. And, it's been pressure to move since October when the paper lease expires. on the 28th of this month.
Okay, ma'am, he's alleging that you failed to pay rent for part of November, December, January, and February.
I'm just asking
So,
the questions. I'm asking these questions because it's going to, if they go with my testimony and the proof, all the documented proof that I have as well.
okay, ask your question one more time, please.
My question is that was it not pressure where we were being forcefully called in text to say that you want us out of the house since the last court date? That you want us out for November?
Okay, have you told them between September and now, Mr. Sewell, have you told them anything that would tend to indicate you wish that they would vacate the property?
Yeah, well, when we were at that specific court date, I told for the judge. The judge told me they have a right. If they want to leave November 1st, they can leave. They can move out. If they want to stay, they have a right to stay until the end of the lease. So we agreed. They agreed with me to move out on November 1st. I've been asking them from October 26, 2025, trying to make sure to get update. And then they gave me a reason. And then by end of November, I told her, hey, Anali, if you have situations, a problem, you can stay until end of your lease. She said, okay, thank you very much. But I was expecting at the same time payment. She's behind partial payment on November. I've been keep asking her. I have all the evidences on text. And then December came in. I told her, hey, the money is going up. What are you doing? I'm moving out. I have evidence 3 times for 3 months that she said, by the end of the month, I will pay you 100% in full and I will move out. It never happened. She never paid me. She ignored me. She never responded my text. So now the lease is done and she's behind $10,000. I have to make action in a legal way. That's what I did.
All right, Ms. McCrae, what's your next question?
My next question, that is it true that you did not receive $1,600 in November? You received $600 in November and $1,000 in December because that is what you asked for specifically?
I do have evidence. You send me end of November after I beg you so many times, text and call. You send me $600 and I told you that's not enough. I need the partial payment, whatever left for November. You said at least send me $1,000 if you can, please. You told me a lot of problems, but I did not say $1,600 is enough payment for November. I have evidence. I will
Okay, I
go
think my
back
last question,
several
I'm
times.
I'm sorry, I think this may be or may not be my last question, but is it true that you said that the lease is up on the 31st and that you want us out on the 31st? When I told you, when we went back and forth, and I said the lease is actually up in February, and you said you don't care. You want us out on the 31st. That this was just pressure to move. I kept saying I wanted to stay till the end of the lease, and you kept pressuring me to get out before the lease was up.
Okay, I will answer you truly 100%. The reason I say January 31st, if you remember, the agency signed the lease in the computer on the paper January 8, 2025. You and I and the agent, we made
I
up.
just want to know if
Yeah.
you were pressuring me.
No, no, listen. Just
Let him answer the question.
let me answer. Be
If
patient.
you have follow-ups, you can ask follow-ups.
You and I and the agency in that kitchen, that house, we made up on the 10th when you gave me the deposit money and the first month's payment, if you remember. And then on your mom called me and she said, my daughter signed on February 10th. She pay you for the whole month of February. You you own us for 10 days. So I deduct the multiply divide the $2,850 by 30 days, it becomes each day is $95. So for past from 1st of February until the 10th, I gave you deduction $900. You remember that, right? Yes or no? Can you answer?
No, I do not remember that because she's saying that's not what she said at all. And I wasn't in that conversation with you all. So
Okay, what pay me for
So
February
hang on,
for
I'm going to jump in here. Mr. Sewell and Ms. McCrae, you're talking about a conversation involving a third party who's not here to be questioned about it, correct?
I don't know anything about it. Correct.
Got it. We're going to move on. So here is the
Judge,
question because I'm reading this, Miss McCrae, and your answer, and I want to confirm this with Mr. Sewell. Mr. Sewell, do you agree that the original lease would have ended, assuming all parties were compliant and there wasn't any other adverse action, was scheduled to run through the end of February 2026?
yeah, I just looked at it for first time right now. I never looked at it before. After she
Okay,
mentioned, I
and
looked.
that is consistent with what Miss McCrae had in her answer as well. But I just
Yes.
wanted to clarify that it's always helpful to figure out where we are in agreement and where we're not. Miss McCrae, do you have additional questions for him?
The question is, were you okay with us staying until the code enforcement was called? You weren't upset until the code enforcement called. And then, like I'm sorry, let me rephrase the question. Were we not, were we cordial until at least until the code enforcement had to come because things weren't being fixed in the house?
Nothing to do with the court enforcement. Whatever you request, I fix it for you. You know that I have a receipt. The only thing I was disappointed is that's the county road. Behind me, you called the landscape people and you use my money from rental, paying $750, and you send me the invoice and you deduct the rental payment.
Okay,
That's the only thing that disappoints me.
my last question is,
My fault.
I'm sorry.
Let her ask the question, please.
My
Okay.
last question is, were you not asked to start fixing things at least in April and nothing started to get fixed until January, and that led us to the first court date, which is now.
Irrelevant to this proceeding.
Exactly. That case is already closed. On behalf of you, you won after I did eviction file.
Okay, so let me rephrase
You
the
already
question. Let me
sent
rephrase
me
the question. I'm sorry.
Mr. Sewell, stop talking over her. Let her
Okay.
attempt to ask the
Nope.
question. If I make a ruling, everyone follow along with the ruling and we'll proceed from there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I just so is your forcefulness and even this situation right now in retaliation to the code enforcement being called with your frustration with me as a tenant?
That's a finding of fact for the court to decide. That's
Okay.
not a question for him to answer. He said it had nothing to do with code enforcement.
Okay.
Mr. Sewell, do you have any other witnesses you intend to call?
At the moment, I don't have nobody.
All right, Ms. McCrae, this is your opportunity to present testimony. If you've submitted evidence, to present evidence. I believe I swore you in together at the beginning of this proceeding, correct, Ms. McCrae?
Yes.
Okay, so since you are under oath, what would you like to tell the court today?
I don't really know how to present evidence, but I do have a lot of pictures and everything. My only thing is Jamal was always going to get his rent. I was never trying to not pay him. From what I have, he's not owed $10,000. He's owed maybe half of that if we include this month, if we, tack on this month's rent, because he's received $4,600 from me in terms of what he's claiming that's owed
And
to
just
him.
And I'm going to have to interrupt you regularly to make sure that I'm following along correctly, especially if math is involved.
Yes, sir.
Is that the $3,000 part of that 4,600 is the $3,000 via Zelle? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then the other 1,600, is that what you paid around November and December?
Yes, sir. One in November,
Understood.
one
I
in
just
December.
wanted to make sure that the dollars you were talking about pertain to the same instruments and payments that I thought they were, because I would hate to make an assumption and be wrong. You may continue.
Yes, sir. So, and I actually was trying to send him more, but then he kind of locked my Zelle when he sent it back this morning. I had to send it back to him. I'm not trying to live here, for free. So after the first court date, he said, I used the security deposit for August and September. I paid October. He said he wanted us to be out in November. It was very forceful. I'm not an argumentative person. So it was just very forceful. And I applied for a home. Like I told I'm sorry, we had death in the family around Thanksgiving time. The people did not even communicate with us that the house had fallen through till around Christmas time. In November, Jamal said, "Hey, send me $600." I said, "Okay." He said, "You have to at least send me $600. Send me something." I said, "Okay." in December. No, I'm sorry. He did ask for 16. I said I could send you 6 because my money is tied up with trying to move and trying to pay all of the bills and trying to, make sure that I can transfer everything over with all of this pressure. Because after him and my mom had argued in the courthouse the first time, I had my lawyer. I didn't want to participate in the conversation. She just kind of wanted to be done with it. But I'm the one that pays for everything. And that's too much pressure on me to pay $3,000 of money rent, all of the bills, and to move like in 1 month at the same time. So I did, the house ended up falling through, and I didn't find this out until around Christmas time. I had a business meeting where I was trying to go like sign to a label. That fell through. It didn't work out. So in the middle of that meeting, and by the time I'm coming back, Jamal is screaming and hollering, I want you out my house. You said you would be out. I'm like, the lease is not even up. We weren't even supposed to be out, and this is too much pressure. I said, he said, well, you owe me $7,500. Your mom doesn't want anything to do with it. I'm like, okay, cool. I have $7,500. It's just kind of tied up because I was trying to move. I need to, get it untied up so I can give it to you because I was never planning on staying here for free. So Jamal insisted that he wanted us out by the 31st. Like I said, it was very forceful, still coming to me in retaliation. And I said, well, let me pay you half and then half or something. Just let me give it to you, and then you can extend the lease for like 3 to 6 months or something for me, and I can just pay you out so that I can get my credit and everything right because I can't be homeless with my baby. I can't, it's a lot of pressure being the only adult responsible for all of these bills. And it was not the plan in the first place, but life happens. So, and it's not his problem, not to make it his problem, but it only became his problem when he kept calling and texting every other day about us moving out and getting out of the house. So he filed the paperwork, and then when my deposit's clear, I paid him. I've been trying to deposit more so that I could just pay him the rest and just pay it all out in lump sums without locking up any of my accounts. And he sent the $3,000 back. It's like I'm trying to pay him out in full so that he has the money. If I owe you this money for back rent, why would you even send it back? That's money that you supposedly owe for time that I've stayed here. So it's just like, this is what I'm talking about. It's always something.
Are you
on the
asking
weekend.
why he keeps returning the $3,000?
Because if he said that I owe it for time that I've spent here, then that's money that he would be owed anyway. So why don't you keep the money that you owe that you're owed for back rent if it's for back rent?
Well, I can answer that because if
But
he takes the
I
money,
understand that he wants me, he wants me out. But my thing is, we can't move right now. I can't have an eviction on my record and I cannot move, but I can make sure that he is paid on time because my money is not going to be tied up in a situation where I can't organize it and I just have to be on go because, he's trying to bully me.
all right. Is there anything else you wish to tell us that we have not yet covered?
It's just that like I said, all of this stems from him not wanting to fix things and not wanting to maintain the property.
All right, very good. Thank you both. Having heard everything I need to hear for today, the court's ruling will be as follows. The plaintiff is allowed to apply for a writ after February 24th at 11:59 p.m. That is 7 days from today. And the judgment amount in favor of the plaintiff is $9,592.85. If an appeal is filed in this case, then money shall be paid into the registry in the amount of $10,000 with ongoing monthly rent payments of $2,850 due on March 5th and every 5th of the month thereafter that the tenant wishes to remain in possession of the property. That order will be prepared and kept on file with the magistrate court clerk. Each of you have concluded your business with the court for today. You will be placed in the waiting room, and then you will be free to log off. Additionally, sir, if you do need to apply for a writ after February 24th, 2026, it is a requirement of this court that you put in the application verification that the cashier's check we have discussed today has officially been returned to her, or whatever other form of certified payment you had turned that Zelle payment into, to ensure that you have not actually accepted any money since the case was filed.
The tenant continues explaining how things went downhill after the first court dispute between the landlord and her mother. She claims tensions exploded after that moment. According to her, the landlord repeatedly demanded that they leave immediately. Even though the lease still had months remaining, she admits she fell behind on rent, but insists she was trying to catch up. Her plan, she says, was to pay the debt in large lump sums once her finances were organized. But when she attempted to send $3,000, the landlord rejected it, something she argues makes no sense if he truly wanted the back rent. To her, the returned payments prove the eviction is about forcing her out, not simply collecting unpaid rent. Finally, after hearing both sides, the judge delivers the ruling, and the courtroom goes quiet. The court sides largely with the landlord. The judge determines that the tenant owes $9,592.85 in unpaid rent and fees. The landlord is allowed to request a writ of possession within 7 days, meaning eviction could move forward unless an appeal is filed. If the tenant chooses to appeal, she must deposit $10,000, with the court and continue paying monthly rent of $2,850 while the case is pending. With that, the dispute officially ends. Another courtroom battle over rent responsibility and conflicting stories comes to a close, and the judge leaves both parties with a final reminder. When conflicts spiral out of control, the place to settle them isn't through pressure or retaliation, it's in court.